let's work on this overthinking together. Full disclosure, first and foremost, we're not talking about deep-rooted trauma that's happened and you're thinking on that. That's not what we're talking about. If you got some traumatic experience and you need assistance, then get help. Okay? That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about mundane, surface level things on overthinking that leads to stress. Okay? Full disclosure, shouldn't have to say that, but I am. Okay, when I'm thinking about overthinking, I'm thinking about it coming in three different forms. The first form, something that you had no control over, landed in your lap. Now you're dealing with it. Number two, thinking about something that happened in the past, and you keep replaying it over and over again in your head. The third thing that I'm thinking about, which is my favorite, somebody telling you that you're overthinking it. All right, so let's explore those three. The first one, when I'm thinking about something that happened, you had no control over, and it's really stressing you out. Believe me, I know, because I do it. All three. You have no control over it, and you're trying to find a solution to this, and you're just replaying through what happened, and you instead of focusing up on this solution, you're stressed on what's happening. You're replaying it through your head time and time again, and not only are you coming up with a solution, you're thinking about things that could go wrong with the solution that may occur, and you're stressing yourself out, man. You're stressing yourself out because you're letting it splinter off into a whole lot of territory that you don't need to go. Focus on one thing at a time, and let's not overly focus on that one thing at a time. Let's put some thought into it. Wait till we get to the appropriate step that we need to be on, and let's deal with that. Okay? Second thing I'm thinking about something that's happened in the past. Excuse me. And you're just replaying it because that's what our brains do. Sometimes they just go into this thought process of you just thinking about things. Because like I said, that's what your brain does. At least that's what mine does. But you're going over something that happened in the past. Now, I'm going to add this on. It's one thing for you to be thinking about something and you're trying to garner experience from it so you can avoid some of the pitfalls. Totally healthy, totally constructive. Nothing wrong with that. But just playing it over and over and over to a point to where it seems like you're beating down on yourself, there's a problem with that. There's a problem with that. You got to stop that. Remember, we're gonna worry about that wrong use of word. When I'm saying worry, because see, we use this day to day in some of our lingo of what we're talking about. I was gonna say we're gonna worry about the next step when we get to it, but you're not gonna even do that thing. You're gonna think about it when you get to the next step. You're gonna put a little thought into your path in solving this solution, but you're not gonna be overly concerned with it, right? The third one, we're going to spend a little bit of time on this third one. The third one, somebody's telling you that you overthink. From my experience, with people that say that, I really can't think of a time outside of what I'm about to say. Like I said, from my experience, 10 times out of 10, a person is telling you that, it's because you have taken issue with them and you're addressing them with something. And instead of addressing that issue head on and talking to you about whatever's going on at hand, they're skirting around it. They're giving you some blowback on it. Telling you overthinking. To me, it kind of comes off like you're trying to sweep up under the rug. Nothing wrong with thinking critically. I actually encourage that. And if I'm taking issue with something, and I'm talking to you about it, it's not overthinking it. I'm going to give you a little caveat to this, or exception to it. Maybe, because remember that we're all about being better, right? We're all about It's not about being right all the time or being on the defensive and everybody else is wrong. That's not what we're talking about. We're solution based. We're trying to be better than our last day, right? So if it's brought to you, perhaps in this discussion where you're taking issue with something and a person is telling you, hey, look, no, that's the furthest thing from what I wanted or was trying to set up. It was a completely different thing, blah, blah, blah. You have put too much thought into this. You're way out in left field. This is all that I meant by the completely different, sincere conversation. We gonna ride with that one. But I'm talking about individuals that just tell you, you're overthinking and they leave it at that. They don't have any type of rebuttal. And it's really to kind of throw you off your game. And listen, from the times that I've encountered that, I'm not concerned on trying to tackle that in the moment with the whole overthinking thing or even trying to plead some sort of case up to him. He gave me everything I needed to know. Everything I needed to know. Because whatever I'm taking issue with you on and you're not addressing whatever I'm addressing you on, then I already know everything I need to know. You're not interested in trying to resolve this issue, change anything about the situation, or prevent further misunderstandings. You're not worried about that. You're trying to protect your image. You going in self-defense mode, and by doing that, I'm overthinking. So I ain't worried about you. This is my take on it when I'm thinking about the 3 steps to mastering overthinking. Nothing wrong with thinking about constructive, healthy ways to critically maneuver in life. And sometimes you do have to kind of turn your brain off and give yourself a break on thinking about things that may be stressful. I'm going to end the video with this one story. I believe that I talked about this in another video. If not, I definitely alluded to it because I do have rooted experiences that, drives a lot of these videos. But I'm going to share this one. I remember one time, truck broke down, right? Single parent, truck broke down. Had me some savings. But we all know it cost repairs on vehicles. That could be anything. Anything. Could wipe your savings out, depending on how much you save. Anyways, my vehicle broke down. It's not left me stranded many times. So on this occasion of having this issue that I had, it's not like I was real disappointed, but you're just disappointed because it's not ever an ideal time to have a vehicle malfunction, right? I was so stressed on this, and I thought so much on this, man, getting my daughter to school, doing this, I gotta work. I had thought so long and so heavy on it that day, I fell asleep. That was just how much thought I put into it. I was just like, what if this exceeds what I have saved up? What's gonna go on? Blah, blah, blah. Long story short, it worked out, just like most things do. As long as you're able to still tell the story, it worked out, right? You made it through some way, somehow. Daughter did get to school that next day, if I'm not mistaken, because it was so long. I don't want to misstate in the story in case I'm saying something else another time. I do want to say that I did get the vehicle repaired the next day before she was even out of school, and it was well within the limits of what I had saved up. Might have been like maybe a third of my savings. Issue was resolved. It wasn't that serious. It worked out. So all that extra thinking that I had thought, because I was doing number 2, rehashing something that had already occurred in my mind, and this fell into number 1 of what I was talking about, had nothing to do with what I was doing. It was a malfunction on the vehicles, not anything that I neglected. So there was no need in me replaying this scenario 100,000 times in my head on what I could have done differently, this and so forth. I did have a towing service in place because of past occurrences, and I knew that I wanted to in case anything came up, make it a little easier on myself on handling that. So that was one less stress to worry about for me being preventative. So this fell in the category of number 1 and number 2, something I had no control of. And once it happened, I was replaying it again and again and again, and it had me extremely stressed out to the point of, like I said, me going to sleep. I know some people go, well, I don't know if that was really stress if you fell asleep, because perhaps I can't sleep. I'm telling you, and I don't think that I've ever had beforehand or afterwards a situation that had really, got to me like that. And I've had vehicles break down before. So, like I said, sometimes it's just the right mixture of the right things. So, yeah, just want to take time out to share that. And if you hadn't gotten it from what I'm saying in the story already, like I said earlier, it worked out. My thinking didn't add or subtract anything from the situation. It didn't make it didn't ease it up on me any. It didn't make anything any better. It wasn't anything to add to it. It was just me overthinking in that situation and stressing myself out. So that's what I'm taking time out to talk to you all about. And then, like I said, on that third one, yeah, of course, there's many instances that I can think about in relationships that occurred up around me where maybe that may have been brought up about overthinking. And like I said, I can't think of an occasion of when I've been told that, you're overthinking this, that they had some sort of solution to come back to it other than just leaving it at that. And if you know me, on certain things, that just ain't gonna fly with me. I ain't gonna just gobble it up and we're done with that meal. And if I do, you can rest assured I'm on my way permanently. That's it. Nothing further to add on this video. Stay encouraged, avoid being discouraged. My name is Ayin. Y'all have a good one.